There's a strange and dangerous test that life places in front of almost every man, a test of discipline, morality, and inner control. It doesn't come with warning signs. It doesn't arrive dressed like danger. It often comes dressed in kindness, warmth, or the illusion of understanding. And that test is temptation, not the cheap, reckless kind, but the quiet, human kind, the kind that hides inside connection, inside loneliness, inside moments when your soul feels unseen. It's easy to talk about self-control when everything around you is simple. But true stoicism, real masculine strength, is tested when your emotions whisper, "No one will ever know." Today, we're not here to judge. We're here to understand, because temptation, especially when it involves someone unavailable, is not a reflection of evil. It's a reflection of how deeply human you are, and how much discipline it takes to rise above instinct. This is the Stoic truth about temptation, why it exists, why it feels powerful, and why mastering it gives a man something far greater than pleasure: self-respect. But before we begin, if you're the kind of man who values discipline, peace, and control in a world that constantly tries to pull you off balance, then subscribe to this channel right now. Because here, we don't run from truth, we face it. We talk about real masculine challenges with calm strength and stoic clarity. Let's begin. The nature of temptation. Temptation doesn't always look like chaos. Sometimes it looks like comfort. It happens when a man feels unseen by his partner, his world, or even by himself. And then someone new gives him what he's been missing: attention, understanding, a soft voice that listens without judgment. It feels harmless at first. We're just talking. But in that quiet space of shared emotions, boundaries begin to blur. This is where Stoicism steps in, not as a rulebook, but as a mirror, because every time you face temptation, the question is not, will anyone find out? The real question is, will I still respect myself after this moment? The Stoic lens. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Simple words, but the depth of that line is what separates boys from men. The Stoic man doesn't avoid temptation because he fears judgment. He avoids it because he honors peace, because he understands that momentary pleasure always comes with long-term noise, and the more peace you lose, the harder it becomes to hear your own soul. You see, temptation isn't really about the other person. It's about the war inside you, a battle between what you want and what you admire in yourself. When you give in to temptation, it doesn't destroy your life instantly. It slowly erodes your inner foundation. Each time you cross a line, you teach your mind that your desires control you. But every time you resist, every time you hold your boundary, you build an invisible armor of peace. You prove to yourself that your emotions don't rule you, you rule them. That's Stoic masculinity, not suppression, but self-mastery. Why married attraction feels powerful. Now let's be honest. Attraction to someone who's unavailable feels powerful because it's forbidden. The human mind always desires what it cannot easily have. In Stoic philosophy, this is called the illusion of control. You want what you don't possess, not because it's better, but because your ego confuses limitation with value. You see someone already loved, already chosen, and your mind whispers, "If she notices me, that means I must be special." But that's not confidence. That's ego validation. It's your mind's way of saying, "I need her attention to feel significant." And that's where the Stoic teaching strikes hardest. Your worth isn't defined by who desires you. It's defined by how well you control what you desire. The Stoic test. Every man will face a moment where he can choose temptation or peace. The moment might come at work, at a party, or even in a quiet message online. It won't feel dangerous, it'll feel flattering. But Stoicism asks you one question: is this action in harmony with your principles? Because when your principles crumble, your peace goes with them. To a Stoic, discipline is freedom, freedom from regret, freedom from guilt, freedom from the endless cycle of emotional highs and lows. When you resist what's wrong, even when it's difficult, you build something sacred, self-respect that no one can take from you. It's not about judging others or pretending to be perfect. It's about remembering who you want to be when no one's watching. Temptation isn't just a test of loyalty to others. It's a test of loyalty to yourself. The Stoic man doesn't run away from temptation. He observes it. He studies the feeling calmly, without panic. And then he chooses discipline, because discipline, unlike desire, doesn't fade. It grows. The reward of control. When you master temptation, you gain something far greater than momentary pleasure. You gain presence. You start to move differently. Your eyes don't wander restlessly anymore. Your energy becomes calm, heavy, magnetic, because you're no longer pulled by emotion. You're anchored by integrity. And that's what women and the world truly respect in a man. A man who could act, but chooses not to. A man who feels desire, but doesn't let desire lead him. That's real power. That's Stoic power.